This is a Louie Tee Network exclusive.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie Tee? Welcome. You are in the lab room, of course. I am your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me. On the 2016 NFL Draft Prospects 101 series, your guide to some of the biggest and hottest names of the 2016 NFL Draft. I got a sore throat, as you can tell already, man. But I'm gonna still come with that high energy like I always do. Ain't no sore throat gonna stop me, man. We gonna keep pushing on, and we talking running backs. And I've already knocked down one of the biggest names, probably the biggest name in this draft class at the running back position, Ezekiel Elliott. But the guy that's not too far behind, and I think he ran himself into the first round at the Combine, is none other than the Heisman Trophy winner out of Alabama, Derrick Henry. Never, ever trust a man with two first names. I don't trust him. Neither should you. Let's talk about Derrick Henry and his rise to the first round potentially, and why this guy could be a difference maker for some team at the next level. We start with his pros. You gotta start with his size, man. 6'3", 247. Let me repeat that. 6'3", 247. Yes, indeed, this is a big man. And if you didn't know, now you know. I love upright running backs. I love them. Eric Dickerson, Chris Warren, Arian Foster, the list goes on and on. I love big, tall, lengthy, upright runners, man. There's just something about them. They look graceful. It's a lot to hit, but they look graceful. And if done correctly, upright runners are gorgeous. I love them. So you know I got a thing for Derrick Henry. That being said, the next pro, he's a big, physical, explosive runner. Okay? Explosive. 4'5", 240 at the Combine. Listen, folks. At 6'3", 240, 6'3", 250 basically is what I'm telling you. 4'5", 240? Are you kidding me? Come on, man, stop it. Who wants to get in front of that? Raise your hand. Who's volunteering to get in front of that? I'm gonna tell you right now, some cornerbacks and safeties that's saying, I hope he doesn't come my way in the open field, because I might have to make a business decision, man. Who wants to get in front of that? I don't know too many dudes that want a piece of that, okay? With that size and that speed comes the ability to hit home runs. Now, I'm gonna tell you this much. I don't know if he's a home run hitter at the next level, but I know he can hit some triples for sure, okay? I definitely know he's legging out some triples. He may be able to hit some home runs as well at the NFL level. 4'5", 240 with that kind of his stride and his burst. I'm not sure if he'll be able to get to the end zone with some of the athletes that are at the next level. But damn it, I'm not sure he can't, because I didn't see a lot of guys tracking him down from behind. And I know some of it was Big Ten competition, but the SEC dudes won't catch him either. And we know about the caliber of athletes in the SEC. They won't catch him from behind either. So I don't know, man. I feel confident saying he's still got home run ability to take it the distance. And that's what makes him special, much like Ezekiel Elliott, the ability to get to the end zone from the running back position. Good patience. Now, something you'll see with him is he has great patience, man. And probably when it's on its most display is when you see him in the screen game. He'll catch the football, survey the field, allow blockers to set up, and then he takes off. And once he gets to top speed, you can forget about it. So I think the middle screen that he caught in the playoff game in 2014 versus Ohio State, great example. Catches the football, turns around, surveys the field, and it's a middle screen, so it's a lot of garbage and trash around him. Breaks a tackle, blocker set up, he takes off running, splits the difference, picks up a huge gain inside the 15-yard line. I mean, about a 45, 55-yard screen, you know, and that's what he does. He's excellent in the screen game. And he's very patient. Even when he's got the football, he'll run into the back of a blocker, put his hand out, look around, and then find some space and get some yards. He's a very patient runner. Good vision. And again, you can't be a first round back without vision. Straight up. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You want to be a first round back, you got to have vision. Because a lot of the backs in the league right now lack vision. If you don't block a play for 4 yards, they won't see 4 yards on the backside, 8 yards on the backside. They see 4 yards in front of them. They don't see 12 yards to the outside if they just cut it back against the grain. They just see 4 yards, they're going to go get that 4 yards. Derrick Henry is a guy, he gets the football, that tackle on the backside and the guard, wash everybody down. He'll take 1 step here, cut it back. All of a sudden now, space and opportunity for him to pick up a big gain, and he'll do that. Great vision. You got to be able to see those things. When you get in the hole, you got to be able to see that defender, set him up, and have the vision to see, okay, I got space over here. I'm going to set him up hard here, and I'm going to cut it back here. He's going to miss me. He's going to overplay it because he think I'm going that way. I'm going to cut it back, and then it's just me and the safety. I'm going to take care of him and finish this runoff. So, really good vision for Derrick Henry. Runs through arm tackles. I told you the man is 6'3", 247 pounds. If you think you're coming with an arm tackle, forget about it, okay? I'm gonna tell you right now, forget about it. It's not happening, okay? Come with your hard hat or your lunch pail if you're trying to get this man down on the ground. Simple as that. If you come with an arm tackle, you're not gonna get him down on the ground. Any discussion? Forward lean, okay? He's one of these guys that he's so big, if he just leans forward, like people always say this with Cam Newton. If Cam Newton just dives forward, it's a 5-yard gain. Same thing with Derrick Henry at 6'3". If he falls forward, it's a 2-yard gain, and he runs with a forward lean. You rarely see him get knocked backwards. I watched about in live footage, I probably watched almost every game Derrick Henry was in at Alabama. But going back and examining his tape, I probably watched about 10 or 11 games. And the only time I can remember him going backwards, getting hit, was when he got hit by Keanu Neal of Florida, the safety out of Florida, where he was essentially at a full stop and he had a defender draped all over him. And then Keanu Neal, who had about a 15-yard head start of momentum, comes and blasts him, and Derrick Henry goes backwards. That's the only time I've seen him go backwards. At a complete stop, and the guy that hit him had a teammate draped all over Derrick Henry, and he had a 15-yard head start of momentum to come and hit him. So that's the best you're gonna do with Derrick Henry. And when I say he went backwards, it was like a half a yard. It wasn't like he went flying. So the guy has a forward lean. He rarely goes backwards, falls forward. Rest is history. Yards after contact. Come on now. Okay, he's a yakster. You know that. He's getting yards after contact. I don't have to elaborate on that. You know exactly what I mean. He can get skinny. For a guy that's 6'3", 247, he'll get skinny on you, man. Don't think he won't, okay? Do not underestimate his ability to get skinny. I watched the Texas A&M game from 2015, and there's a hole that's not really there. And his guys did a good job of sealing off defenders, but the hole, they didn't move them, they just sealed them. So there was a crease about this big, and Derrick Henry said, "Excuse me," and got through that crease and got into the secondary and picked up like 25 yards on the play. And I'm like, wait, run that back? I had to watch that like 2 or 3 times to believe what I was seeing, because I'm like, he didn't just do that. He didn't just turn skinny and suck his stomach in and puff his chest out and say, "Excuse me, watch out," like he was at the movies or something. Walking down the aisle, excuse me, and got right through that crease, man. Yes, he did do that. So don't think he won't get skinny on you in a heartbeat to pick up some yardage. Very impressive for a guy 6'3", 247 pounds. Solid receiver. We saw that at the combine. He can catch the football. To me, where his receiving skills shine the most in the screen game. I already talked about that, but to me, of all the backs in this draft class, I love him the most in the screen game. He is, without a doubt, the best at setting up his blockers in the screen game. And then when the crease happens and the time is right, he accelerates, takes off, hard to stop. And so he's a solid receiver out of the backfield as well. His final pro, he will put his body in harm's way to block. And we saw this at Alabama on a number of occasions, whether they had him pulling as a lead blocker and he would cut a guy down, or he's in pass pro There's one play, and I forget who they're playing, and I want to say it's probably like Texas A&M. I'm not sure the opponent, but it's a blitz. Backer comes free, and it's going to be a clean shot on the quarterback. And Coker's not going to have a shot here. And Derrick Henry, you can see, before the snap, he reads it. He knows exactly what he's got to do because you can see him kind of cheating and leaning forward pre-snap, knowing where he's got to get to because he got to get there quick or that guy's going to beat him to Coker. And so he's leaning forward at the snap. And as they snap the ball, he goes straight over there to the gap. It's the A gap. Takes the dude up, stonewalls him, boom, and takes him and runs him around Jacob Coker. It was beautiful. Beautiful, I tell you. That's the kind of pass pro that's going to keep this guy on the field on third down, right there. Cons for Derrick Henry. And again, outside of him having 2 first names, never, ever trust a man with 2 first names. Limited agility. Look, you knew this coming into the combine. You knew this going into the draft. His agility, not top notch. If you want one glaring difference between him and Ezekiel Elliott, it's the agility. Ezekiel Elliott can jump, can cut, can stop, and start like that. Derrick Henry needs about 4 solid steps to get to top speed, and he can't change directions on a dime. If he's cutting, he's almost got to come to a complete stop to stop and change directions. The most elite backs in the league, and I listen to Marshall Faulk say this over and over again, and I find it to be the truth. The best guys at the running back position in terms of athleticism, they don't lose speed when they change directions. When a guy cuts, he's not stopping. Like Ted Ginn Jr. has to literally come to a complete stop to change directions. He is a straight line runner. When he runs in a straight line, he's really, really fast. But when you ask Ted Ginn Jr. to have to reverse the field, Ted Ginn Jr. will literally shift it down to third gear, come to an almost complete stop, and then turn around and then put the burners back on. We saw him do it in the NFC Championship game versus the Arizona Cardinals for that touchdown on the run, where he runs to the sidelines, turns directions, downshifts it to third gear, and then puts it in high gear and takes off running for a touchdown. That's what Derrick Henry is. He's not a guy with a lot of agility because of that. Let me tell you something. 6'3", do you know how hard it is to stop 6'3", 247 pounds? Do you know how hard it is to stop that? Me neither. I don't know either. But I'm pretty sure it's tough and hard to do. I don't know. I'm not 6'3", 247, but I'm pretty sure it's damn hard and tough to do. So I didn't expect great agility from him. That's not a part of his game. He's not a lateral guy. He wants to go north and south. I get it. I totally get it. Tall, upright runner. Look, I love tall, upright runners, except when they're tall and upright runners. I want my 6'2", 230-pound back to run like Adrian Peterson, okay? I want him to run like that, where you run behind your pads, you dip that shoulder down, and you make guys pay. But when you're a tall, upright runner and you can't bend and you don't get down and the pad level is high, guys gonna knock you back. Look, he's a tall, upright runner. He's 6'3". There's a lot of man to hit, okay? From top to bottom, there's a lot of target space for defenders to hit with Derrick Henry. So he's gonna have to run behind his pads and make guys pay for trying to come up and tackle him. And it can't be this stiff arm, and it can't be a half-hearted attempt at dipping the shoulder. He's gotta run behind his pads at the next level or he'll get exposed. He's a build-up speed runner. I talked about that briefly, but he needs 4 or 5 steps to get to top speed. He's not a 0 to 60 real quick runner. He's he's got to shift gears about 3 or 4 times to get to top speed. But when he does, watch out, here he goes, okay? So if you get him in the backfield, the worst enemy of Derrick Henry is a defender in the backfield. Because then he's gonna have to stop his feet to redirect. You got it. If his feet stop, he's done. His feet have to keep moving at all times for him to be effective. When the feet stop, the play's over for Derrick Henry. So that's something that defenders are gonna try to do to him at the next level, is get in the backfield, disrupt him. Don't let him get the feet moving and started. And you got it. Last con is not really a con. This is a personal con. He's an Alabama back. And what I mean by that is, you're a human, okay? I'm human, you're human. It's human nature to do this. You try to take the school out of the mix and what past backs from that college have done at the next level. You try to take that and remove that from the situation and say, look, those are isolated incidents. He's his own man, he's his own player. Don't factor that into the equation. You can't do that. I can't do that. At least I can't. I can't speak for you. I can't do that. I look at the Alabama backs of past and those ghosts, they haunt me, okay? When I'm sleeping at night, I see Trent Richardson missing cutback lanes. I see Trent Richardson fumbling the football. I see Trent Richardson getting 2 yards on a run that should get 5. I see Trent Richardson not even getting back to the line of scrimmage. I see Mark Ingram hoisting the Heisman Trophy, but being an average back at the next level. I see Eddie Lacy eating cheeseburgers and eating jelly beans and eating gummy worms in my sleep. That Chinese food though. I see that in my sleep, seriously. So when I look at Derrick Henry, I say, damn, you already 247 pounds. All of your predecessors have gained weight when they got to the next level. You scare me a little bit because if Derrick Henry puts on 10 pounds, he's not Derrick Henry anymore. He's old Henry, okay? Oh, Henry. He's not Derrick Henry. So my question is, can he keep that weight down, stay at a level where he's going to be productive, and can he kind of make me forget about those other Alabama backs and say, look, I'm Derrick Henry. You can trust me even though I got 2 first names. I don't trust him right now. We'll see. But it makes me think of like LSU before Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry. I had a thing with LSU receivers. I didn't trust them. You go back to early Doucette. Go ask a San Diego Chargers fan right now if they remember the name Craig Buster Davis. Go ask a Chargers fan. They'll tell you about Craig Buster Davis. What about Michael Clayton? Go ask Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans about Michael Clayton. Burst onto the scene, over 1,000 yards in his rookie season. What the hell did he do after that? You can even throw Ruben Randall in there if you want. With the Giants right now, I don't trust LSU receivers, but Jarvis Landry and ODB have changed my mind about LSU receivers. That's how I feel about Alabama backs. I'm hoping he can do the Alabama backs what ODB and Jarvis Landry have done for LSU receivers in my book. So that's Derrick Henry and his 2016 NFL Draft Prospects 101 breakdown. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the lab. We'll come back and join me as I continue to break down anything and everything in the National Football League. You think a sore throat is going to stop me, man? Nope. Going on to the next running back.
There's plenty more where that came from. While you're here, subscribe to the channel. If you want more Louie Tee, be sure to follow me on Twitter at In The Lab Room, or you can like the Facebook page at In The Lab Room. That's In The Lab Room on Facebook and at In The Lab Room on Twitter. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so.